What's up, guys? Colton Lindsay coming at you with the WGR Live. I got a special guest for you today. I'm going to invite him on right now. His name is Mr. Lee Barrison. I don't know if you heard of this guy before. He's out of Bakersfield, California. The guy is amazing. So I'm sending him the invitation right now. Hey, Stevie, thanks for popping on. As you guys are hopping on, do me a couple favors. David, you're popping on. Do me a quick favor and hit that share button as we're waiting for Mr. Lee Barrison to come in. Jake, Ronnie, what's up? David, Lee, when you pop on, make sure to write a comment so I can actually see your name and invite you in here. Lee, just so you guys know, Lee is new to doing this. Like Lee started selling real estate way back when in the early 1900s. And so the fact that he's even on Facebook now is like an incredible new opportunity for him. So let's see if we get him in. We got the invitation sent. Hey, Devin, thanks for popping on. Chad, do me a quick favor. I see you the broadcast. He's figured it out. He's coming on live. As we're waiting for him, make sure buyers and sellers for Utah, send them to me, the WGR Real Estate Sales Team. If you want coaching and training for real estate, fearlessagent.com. Get signed up immediately. And if you want to take your financial level to a whole other world and learn your cash flow management, well, apply now. I'm going to put a comment right now for the Financial Freedom Nation, okay? Now, it's still in beta phase, so you're going to have to actually click on that after the fact. Oh, no answer. No answer from Lee. Let's see what's going on here, Lee. It says it didn't work. It says it's inviting you, but it says, oh, kicking my screen. See if we get the invitation through this time to Mr. Lee Barrison. So I put that link in there for the Financial Freedom Nation. Go ahead and click on it. Okay, let's see what's going on, Lee. Says you're not joining. Says that you're not joining there, Lee. What's going on? Do I need to go send you a text message? Mm-hmm. Oh, there he is.
Can you
Lee
see
Barrison,
me now?
ladies and gentlemen. Why are we looking from below,
What's up,
Lee? Lee, what's going on here? We're looking from below here.
Yeah,
oh,
can you hear me? Can you hear me, Colton?
You got the headset.
Okay, sweet, man.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Got the headset going. Yep.
Okay, so just so you know, there's a slight delay. So when I talk, it takes like 2 seconds to get to you, vice versa. So we have to go slow paced. Make sense?
Okay.
Awesome. So I just got done introducing Lee Barrison out of Bakersfield, California. For those of you who don't know, recently, was it just 6 months ago you opened up the Intero Real Estate for Bakersfield? How long ago was it?
3 months, February 17th.
February 17th. So we're going to kick off with that. First of all, in 60 seconds or less, share with everyone where you're from, who you are, what you do, why you got that cool headset on. Tell us a little bit about Lee Barrison, why I'm even having you on today. Let's hear about it.
Well, good afternoon, Colton. Pleased to meet you again. Lee Barrison, Bakersfield, California. I'm 40 years old, standing at about 6 feet tall, about 190 pounds on a good day. Licensed real estate agent and licensed real estate broker, here in Bakersfield, California. Like Colton mentioned, been in the business for a while, started purchased a franchise of Intero, brought it to Bakersfield from my good friend and partner, Danny Morrell, and here we are today, rocking and rolling 3 months into it. So,
okay, do me a favor, Lee, and ask these fine folks to hit that share button real quick. Can you do that for me? No, not you.
Oh.
You just have to say it. Just say it, Lee.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, yeah, please push the share button, guys. Please push the share button. Manny, I see you, brother. Push the share button. Jeff Colon, I see you, brother. Push the share button.
Awesome. Appreciate Stevie. You hit the share button. Jeremy, thanks for being on. Sarah says she just visited your office. Cool. Well, we appreciate you guys being on here. So, Lee, tell us a little bit. How long have you been in real estate now?
16 years, yeah.
16 years, okay. And you were a solo agent doing your own thing for how many of those 16 years?
14. 14. I'm going to go shut this door real quick. Yeah, 14 years, been a solo agent. Started our team roughly early 2015. and then had a larger team, I guess, in 2016, and that's when we went Intero in 2017.
So what takes you 14 years of being an individual agent to 2015 all of a sudden, you know what, dude, I'm going to build a team? Like
What's up, Manny? Hey, that guy Manny right there, Manny Martinez was started with our office, and Manny decided to bounce and move down to Rancho Cucamonga about 2 weeks ago, and works for Intero down there, and he just took his first listing in a place that he has no clue where he's even going half the time.
Woo! So, nice job,
kudos
Manny.
To Manny. Yeah, for sure. I apologize, Colton. What was your question?
So why build a team?
I'm really excited about him.
Why did you leave why did you get done being solo agent and then go build a team? Like, what changed after 14 years?
Okay, so in my 14th year of real estate in 2014, I had a really good year. Sold 96 houses as a single agent with a full-time assistant.
Wait! 96 houses as a single agent?
Yeah,
that's like 96. A house every other day.
Yeah, and it was a lot of work. But I tell you what, Colton, a couple agents asked me to help them, to coach them or whatnot. In 2015, I brought a buyer's agent on board, and I enjoyed teaching and coaching so much that I said, this is what I'm privileged or blessed to be able to do, and giving back now is my only intention. I feel like the more energy you give off, the more you receive naturally, and damn it, I'm just trying to give everything away that I can right now. So,
dude, that's what we just talked about in Financial Freedom Nation, right? Like, the more you give, the more you receive. Like, give equals receive, and you can't receive without giving, and you can't give without receiving. It's like this weird cycle that just keeps on going, right?
You must give to get, and it's the universal law.
Amen, brother. So 2015, you started building a team. So how many units? What did your business look like in 2015 by the end of it? How many were on your team? How many deals you do?
So we started the team in March of 2015, and between 6 of us, we sold 141 houses, and then I hired 4 more in 2016. And then we managed to be the top #1 productive team in Bakersfield, closing out 242 units. So that's an average per agent production of 24 units per agent, Colton, which is a number that I'm very proud of. So
you should be proud of it. That's sick, man. And I'm sure you've got Bakersfield agents knocking at your door wanting to join the Intero Real Estate business now, yeah?
Oh, man, we're changing the locks every day because they keep trying to rekey the lock. No, we're growing, bro. We're growing. Like we started with 10 agents on February 17th, 2017 here in Bakersfield. And what's today's date? June 13th.
June 13th.
And we're at 31. So we've gotten 21 agents in about three and a half months. So
nice. So I remember, I can't remember what, it was probably October, November, something. You called me. You're like, dude, I'm thinking of doing this. I'm thinking of buying this building. And then you did it, man. You took the thought and you turned it into 3D. So what fired you up to say, hey, I'm going to get in touch with Danny? I know you had talked with him before, but what got you to say, hey, Danny, dude, let's open Intero in Bakersfield? What got you doing that?
Well, for those of it that you don't know Danny, all of you guys should follow the guy because he's an amazing mentor, coach, speaker. Just released his first book, which if you ask me, if anybody releases a book and they're in real estate, damn it, they're probably good. Especially if they got a publisher behind them. So, because every agent actually writes their own book, but it's all about them. You know what I mean? But it's a very short book, and there's not a whole lot in it. So, but he just released his first book, which I think everybody out there ought to go check out. It's the Resilience Roadmap by Danny Morell. But I reached out to Danny because I've known him for quite some time, and our small team of 10 in his company, our cultures mirror and matched each other. We followed a very tight schedule and system and whatnot. And so I figured, well, I can either get my broker's license and go off and do this on my own and screw up. Otherwise, I can, align forces, I guess, with one of the best in Southern California and see if he'd be willing to coach me. And that's what we did. So.
So from looking out, I don't know Danny. I've never talked to him besides maybe a few messages on Instagram. He went through some ups and some downs with his business, right? With the market shifting back in 07, 08 timeframe.
Exactly, bro. Yeah, he lost his ass in 2008. Basically lost everything he had, and I believe in 2011. 2010, 2011, he had $2,000 in his pocket and opened up his first Intero franchise, and now he owns 7 of them, and they're scheduled to sell over $1 billion worth in real estate with $36 million in revenue in 2017.
Wow. So how many agents is with the Intero company now overall?
I believe we have their total, not including our office. I think there's 425 agents in Southern California. So it's growing.
That's
like
insane.
Wildfire.
Growing from losing everything, broke, $2,000, to over 400 plus agents into your organization. And that's, we're 2017, story. So that's 6 years, right? That's incredible. Like 6 years sounds like a lot of time when you're looking forward, but you look back 6 years ago and it's a blink of the eye, right? Like it just flashes by.
Yeah, for sure.
So over 16 years, I'm sure you've made some mistakes in real estate. Yeah. You made any mistakes?
Oh God. Yeah. Is this podcast about 2 to 3 hours, right?
Yeah. So let's hear maybe 1 or 2 mistakes that are probably some of the most biggest lesson teaching things that you've learned over 16 years.
Biggest mistakes. So you want the real version, the full disclosure, right?
Full disclosure. Like what did you like? And I want it, not that like you didn't learn anything. I want to know the lesson that came from it too.
Okay, good. Yeah. So, I can think of one right offhand, which is my very, very first transaction. Had an open house. The sellers decided to stay, which is a little bit awkward, and a couple of Indian buyers rolled up in a blacked out Cadillac with white beaters on. They were smoking cigarettes. They went through the house, and they were kind of a gangster. And they were like, yeah, we want the house. We want the house. And I'm like, okay, well, great. Meet me at the office at 4, and we'll go ahead and write this up. They're like, no, we want it now. And then I look at the sellers, and the seller's like, yeah, let's do it. Write it up, right? So I didn't have a contract. Don't even know how to write a contract. So I asked them if they had anything to write on. They gave me a brown grocery bag. And basically I wrote out all the terms, the names, deposit, close date.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, bro. And legally I had a binding contract. And so then just after they left, another local agent came in, had a buyer. Her buyer wound up writing us a bigger and better offer. So on Monday morning, I walk into my broker's office and I say, hey, I think I fucked up. I got 2 offers. I got one over here on a brown paper bag, and these guys like really want it. And then I got this one over here that my sellers want to accept because it's a bigger offer. So what do? And I literally spent 8 hours in his office with a real estate attorney here locally trying to get rid of this deal, and we finally got rid of it because they had big time attorneys come to find out. So that was kind of scary too. So that was probably my number one worst mistake. So
what's the lesson learned?
Lesson learned, don't ever write contracts yourself. That's why real estate attorneys write them for us, so that way we don't screw up.
I think the biggest lesson that these listeners can learn is you don't have to be a rocket scientist to make it in real estate, right? Like, look at where you've made it after that. That is by far the best one I've ever heard, Lee. I love it.
Yeah. Don't ever do that again. Number 2, and I'm going to be more of a realist, just in our business is, don't make the mistake of not perfecting your craft and working on it every single day, because I think so many agents. They work on it, and then they wind up doing 10 or 15 deals, and all of a sudden they think they know everything and no need to practice or network with other bigger and better agents. That's actually how I met you, Colton, is because I wanted to take my business to the next level. I saw you on YouTube, and I thought, wow, this guy has something that I want to learn more of. And, I reached out to you, and we became really good friends and role play partners, and that was a blessing to me in my life and my business, and I appreciate you for that, dude.
Cool, man. I appreciate it. It's amazing what putting my first YouTube video up has done for my life. I wouldn't have met, seriously, I've met so many amazing people just because of YouTube. It's blown my life up to a whole nother level. So I'm glad you were one of those.
Yeah, I'm sure you earned a lot of friends, and you probably made some enemies too at the same token.
Yeah, I have made some
Yeah,
enemies, but hey, what do? You know, I've
that's
got a few
okay.
of those laying around. It's so
Yeah.
weird. Like the local agents in my market, they like always give me beef about like I'm doing something new or something different. They're like, oh, Colton's doing this again. He's prospecting on YouTube. You know, it's like, dude, shut up. Go sell a house or something. So
That's so funny.
you talked about your values, your culture fit with inside of the Intero culture. What is that culture that you're talking about, just so these guys can hear?
Okay, so I'm a big believer, and I hope that some of these folks on this call can agree with me that we are in a broken industry. And give me a thumbs up if you guys agree with me, because our industry is broken. And the reason why I say that is because there's a lot of companies across the United States, owners, brokers, sales managers that have no clue on how to even teach their real estate agents on how to sell real estate at a professional level. Nor do they know, the lingo of tracking your numbers, or prospecting, or learning scripts or dialogue and all that good stuff. So we're in a broken industry, and therefore my objective and our culture is to fix that. One agent at a time, basically. So there, in our city, at least in Bakersfield, there's not one company, there's not even one sales manager, not one broker, and I'll challenge anybody on this call that's local, that can teach,
Ooh.
that can teach or train an agent how to become a killer, a trained hunter when it comes down to real estate. Because as well as I do, if you learn how to sell real estate, you can make a killing. But unfortunately, the average real estate agent in the United States sells 6 homes a year. So why is that? It's because
What's
of
the average
leadership and the
commission in
management.
Bakersfield? $4,000, $5,000 a deal?
About $5,000.
So if the average agent in Bakersfield's making $30,000 a year, I don't know about you, dude, but like that's poverty. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I couldn't
that's
live off of $30,000.
that's before Uncle Sam comes and takes his share of it.
Yeah, and most of those agents are still running sole proprietor, so they're giving up 40%, right? Like
There you go.
they don't even know how to run a business, so they get tax write-offs and all of the tax incentives that Uncle Sam gives us, right?
Yes, sir. Yep.
So what is it that you're doing to teach your agents that is just dominating your market so there is no competition? What does that look like?
Well, I think that, or I'm a firm believer that I want to make listing agents out of every single agent that walks through this door, because I know, and that anybody that becomes a skilled listing agent has more control of their life, has more freedom. They basically make more money. And again, you've leveraged your market. So many agents. Okay, here we go again. So we're in a broken industry. Well, the reason why there's so many people that are fearful or whatever of picking up the phone to become a listing agent is because they don't know what to say.
Yep.
Because their leadership doesn't teach them what to say. So if I can help my people take more listings, make them more money, create more freedom, and have just a better financial life, then damn it, that's what I want to do. And listings is the name of the game. You must list to exist. And if you don't, sorry, buddy.
Yeah, man, especially if you want to leverage yourself, right? Like you've got to be able to take listings. And I mean, we work with buyers as well, but I'll tell you what, I haven't personally shown up. I shouldn't say personally. I showed one home in the last 3 years, and it was just because it was someone I've known since I was 1 year old, right? So besides that,
Yep.
What's the point? Like, you don't need to waste time running around. Real quick, I need a timeout and give a word from our sponsors, fearlessagent.com, absolute best coaching and training program on the planet. And if you guys have any referrals to send in any part of Bakersfield, get a hold of Lee. Him and his team will definitely take care of you. So do me a favor, hit that share button. I know about 9 or 10 of you have already hit it. We appreciate it. Scott, glad you're on here listening. We always love to see your face around. Connor, thanks for the thumbs up. Albert, hey, glad to hear your positive words up on here too as well. Adam, thanks for joining us. So what's the plan, Lee? Like, where do you want to go with what you're building in your business now? What do you want to try and get to?
We're going to dominate the world in 3 years or less. I'm going to take over the entire Bakersfield market. But again, what I want to be very clear on is that our per agent production is going to speak for itself. It's not going to be because we have the most agents in town, but it's going to be because we have a relatively large office or medium-sized office. But we take more listings than the average agent does. We close more transactions than the agent does, and we make more money versus the average agent.
So you're just going to teach these guys how to dominate, not just to get into real estate and do 6 deals a year, but you've already proven your average agent does 24 deals a year, right? You're going to teach people how to become like extremely wealthy in the real estate industry. And not just that, but how do you have a life worth living, right? Like you've said, it's not just about helping them make money. It's about helping them build a life. Why
of course.
Is that so important to you? And I know because of our conversations, you're a firm believer in God, right? And so does that have anything to do with it? It's just being a part of your mission, or what is it?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I really don't know why, but I can tell you that I love freedom. I love the ability to like travel for a month or a month and a half. You know, my wife and I and my kids went to Europe 2 years ago for 6 weeks, and and being able to come back and have 14 to 17 closed transactions in my drawer as if nothing changed. That's the life that I want to teach anybody that's in this office right now. Once they can get their feet grounded enough and they can take their business to the next level. I mean, damn it, everybody deserves that life, especially if you're in real estate, because there's no career, no business in the world that you can do something like that other than real estate, especially if you didn't even graduate high school.
Right? So quickly, too. You can do it rather quickly. I mean, in a time frame, you went from, and I know it sounds like 16 years is a long time and you built that up, but all of a sudden when you shifted your mindset, how quickly did you actually build a team to where you were able to do that? Go to Europe for 6 weeks.
I think we had 4 to 6 people on the team at the time.
So what shifted, right? Like something had to shift to where you started getting agents that wanted to work with you. What had to shift in your business model?
You know what? I just think I hope, and I do, on my skill set. And I think that as we grew, agents knew that there were rookie agents jumping on board. And I'm talking, Lee, I got my license today. I'm ready to go to work. Those type of agents. And they were doing 20, 24. They were doing 28 in their first 12 months in real estate. So people, I think evidently people knew right off the bat that we were doing something just a little bit different.
Yeah. Because
there's other agents in the community that have been around for 6 years, 10 years, or whatever the story looks like, and they're still stuck at that number, 12 or 15. And so I think that maybe attracted some agents to Infinity, which was our old team at the time.
So I think naturally the question people want to ask is what keeps an agent at 12 deals a month? But the question I want to ask is what's taking your agents to 24 to 30 deals a month that the other guys aren't doing? Like, what's that difference?
Well, high accountability, man. A lot of accountability going on. So people are cutting checks, people are making bets, people are mastering their skills daily. So basically every single day we have a role play session for half an hour, and then these guys sometimes are role playing in the afternoon, and then they also have role play partners in different areas of the country. Everybody's on the phones. We're in a bullpen environment where everybody kind of sees each other. And so you can't just like hide behind your office door. And so the accountability, I think, is a big thing, Colton, because it doesn't allow the agent to not work. Just they feel like a knucklehead if they're not doing anything.
I believe, and we teach this with Fearless Agent, there's 3 really important things. Number 1 is your skill set, right? Like you've got to have the ability to set an appointment, get a contract signed, right? Like without customers, you don't even need customer service. You have no customers, right? Number 2 is be great at your schedule. My guess is your agents are very focused on their time and how they block it and how they utilize it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say the third thing, and it sounds like you've built this over 14, 16 years, is amazing systems to be able to process the files, right? So you were saying about the schedule. Tell me about their schedule.
Well, I would say out of 30 plus agents in this building, 25 to 27 are in here before 9 o'clock. And so I get here typically 7:30, 8 o'clock, and there's usually 5 to 6 bodies already in here prospecting by 7:30, and so, which is a really cool thing. I mean, there's nothing more that makes me happy than seeing that kind of stuff, because they believe in the system, they believe in the culture, and they know this is the shit I got to do in order to really get paid. You know?
So how do you, with all of technology today and all these so-called gurus, you know, talking about, you know, getting, I don't know, internet leads or this or that or the other, how do you keep your agents focused on making the dials versus chasing after these fireflies?
Good question, man. So the only thing that's predictable in real estate is prospecting. You know, you cannot predict that somebody's going to log onto your website and buy a house from you. Just like you can't predict that somebody's going to come to your open house and buy a house off you because you have some magic phrase you used in order to convince them to buy a house, you know? So we know that the only thing in the world in real estate that's predictable are your numbers. And so those numbers are based off of, you know, dials made, contacts made, appointments set, appointments gone on, and closings. You know, and if we can keep track of those numbers, and, you know, everybody has a different number, but I really try to drive home 20 is the number per day. You know,
20 what, contacts?
Yeah, 20 contacts per day. So if you can do that 5 days a week, that's 100 contacts. You're making a lot of contacts every year, 4,800. So out of 4,800, if you're actively prospecting on people that actually want to do something, then you're going to get a lot of contracts signed, no doubt. It's just it's virtually impossible. And if you're not, and if you make 4,800 contacts and you're not making a lot of deals, then it's something that's coming out of your mouth that's wrong, or you're just lying to me.
And you can change what's coming out of your mouth. And I think it's important too to understand that, not that you don't generate leads online. You still look at those options, right? Generating leads online. But at the end of the day, you still have to have a conversation with that human being. So how do you, number one is, let me ask you this. So with 20 contacts, I'm guessing that's a minimum. You probably have agents doing more than 20 a day?
Yep. Well, some do, some don't. And, you know, I like to really teach them, Colton, that 20 is a baseline. You know, so if you're in high school, that's like a C minus. Like you barely pass the class, you know what I mean? But if you want an A in class, then you're right. You got to do 25. You got to do 30. You got to do 35. You know, once a month we have what we call an ultimate prospecting day here at the office. We also invite other agents from other offices to come join us for a 6-hour role play session. So we start, 7-hour role play session. We start at 8 and we end at 4 with a 1-hour lunch. You know, those type of days, you should be able to get 60 contacts. You know, the 10 contacts at an hour is really what we look for.
So 10 an hour. And if you're using Mojo, throwing Mojo in there, I mean, I hit 15 contacts this morning in 45 minutes on Mojo, just calling through our People Farm, which is one of our databases, right? So depending on what list you're calling and what conversation you're having, you know, 10 is like, there's no reason why you can't hit 10 contacts an hour, right? Like if you're hitting less than 10 a day, you just ain't going to work, man. So how do you, oh, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, you're just talking too much, or maybe you're using a rotary phone to get those dials in. Could be, you know?
Yeah. So
typically it's because you're talking too much.
How do you keep these agents from having contactitis and just making contacts and not getting appointments and leads?
Well, we do talk about that, you know. So if you come to me at the end of the year and say, hey, look, I made 4,800 contacts. Okay, great. You know, that's another reason why they may not be producing off of 20 contacts a day. So if they may just be in the call for the call. And I was telling a couple agents this morning, is that a good way of getting out of contactitis is stop selling and start solving. Okay, so stop selling but start solving, because people can smell a salesperson's bullshit from a mile away. Yeah. So if you're just running a script on somebody with contactitis, they're going to shut you down. They don't want nothing to do with you. But if you genuinely involve yourself in their issue, maybe why the home didn't sell, or maybe why the home hasn't sold, or maybe because they want to get to that destination, if you genuinely involve yourself on trying to be a problem solver, they can smell that too, and that's what people are attracted to. So that would delete all the problem solving that contactitis.
It's an energy thing, right? Like I see this all the time with new agents. Those that come in stoked on their energy totally mess up the words, but they're enthusiastic and they get the appointment. Whereas one of the other agents might have had, I don't know, a bad morning, kid threw up during the night or whatever, right? You have those mornings and his energy's not there, saying the right words, and he doesn't get the appointment, right? So your enthusiasm is huge when it comes to this, right?
Agreed.
What do you do to build up your enthusiasm with your team? Get them excited and get them focusing on solving and creating solutions versus just running scripts.
We have so many crazy conversations in the building every day. I think those are what really keep everybody enthusiastic. We like to think big. It's not about paying the bills. It's not about, catching up on my rent. It's not about, anything. What it's about is basically, I want to buy a jet, or I want to be able to travel for 6 months and then also keep my income the same. It's about, I want to have 25 rentals that are all paid off by the time I'm 45. Those conversations, at least to us, excite the group a lot. Not everybody's a big thinker like that in the group. Some are more conservative or introverts, So those are folks that I'm trying to work on, because I'm an expressive and I am an extrovert.
So what's your reason? What keeps you motivated? What keeps you stoked? Like, what do you want to create?
Well, with the brokerage, honestly, dude, it's not about money. I could tell you that much, because I haven't made a dime really since we started, but that's okay, because what really excites me is seeing the growth, the breakthroughs in these guys' life. And I can just give you a couple examples off the top of my head. We did an interview with an agent in our office, Anthony Razzo, who's a really great guy, good heart. 9 months ago, brand new licensee, signed up with our company. For 4 months, he didn't sell a single house. He was 3 months behind on his house payment, $8,000 in debt. Well, as of today, 9 months, he has 7 in escrow, and he says he has more money in the bank than he's ever had. And those are the breakthroughs. Those are the stories that are more valuable than money. It doesn't matter to me, and that's just one story, I can keep going on about these little stories.
So can you make that happen with just any agent, or does it got to be the right type?
Any agent, just walk in our door. I've got this magic wand, and I just kind of throw that thing over your head a few times. No, I'm kidding. No, I can't make it with every agent, because
Why?
they have to. Well, because they have to want it.
What's the difference? Okay.
They've got to want it before more than I want it. Because sometimes there's agents that just, I want it more than you want it. I know I want it more than you want it.
How do you deal with that agent? How do you deal with that person when you want it more than they want it? That's a tough one, isn't it?
It's a very tough one, and I think that people love. I think people appreciate and respect people that are more direct in those scenarios. Some, because again, I'm not doing any favors for that agent if they're not doing their job, or if they don't want it more than I do. I'm not doing them any favors by coddling them. I'm being an enabler when I do that. So the more direct conversation and putting their ass on a hot seat. It's very, very important that you do give people deadlines to start producing or start learning a script a little bit better than you, because, let's face it. I can only do so much for you. I've got the easy part. I can give you the systems. I can give you the scripts. I can tell you what to say. I can do everything. But one thing that I cannot do is put your ass into action. That's your job. And if you can't do that, sorry, buddy.
Dude, that is my hardest thing, is when I want it for someone more than they want it. And I have to just remind myself, I'm not Jesus, right? Like, I'm not here to save everyone, because it's tough. And you know what? It messes with my own emotions, I get frustrated, right? And I have to realize, okay, well, maybe they're stoked with doing 20 deals a year, making $100,000 versus 200,000. You know what I mean? And then I gotta realize, okay, that's them, right? And I got to go find that next person. Like, I love Garrett. I don't know if you probably know Garrett. You've seen him on my stuff. Like, dude, that kid has been with me since he's 19 years old. I've loved what he's done with me online. I love what he's doing with prospecting. I love what he's doing. And he's 24, and I think we'll get him over 6 figures this year at 24, right? Like,
so cool.
To be able to see that is just an amazing experience. So shifting gears, obviously your contacts you're making have had to shift from just calling your SOI, your past clients, FSBOs, expireds. Who else are you calling now?
To be honest with you, that's all I do call. I don't call for sale by owners. I don't call expired listings, because that was about 70% of my business as a single agent before I started a team. When I started a team, everybody saw me calling the for sale by owners and making money off the expireds, and they're like, aha, we want that. So I would rather teach them how to do that versus try to compete with them. And so that's a big majority of their business nowadays, is prospecting on old new expireds and whatnot. I do prospect on agents now too.
Yeah, that's the answer I was looking for.
Yeah, so it's a different type of animal, but in a lot of aspects, it's exactly the same. you know, because basically as a seller, it's my duty to get you the most amount of money in the quickest amount of time, right?
Yep.
Well, as an agent, it's my job now to make you the most amount of money in the quickest amount of time, because that is what you want, right?
Yep.
You know.
Notice how he's using some NLP tactics there. That's what you want. Yes. Obviously, that's what I want, Lee. Clearly, yeah. And after you do this interview with me, you'll understand why it makes sense to tell everyone about me. I mean, because you want to get more agents over in Bakersfield as well, right?
Yes, I do, Colton. Yep.
Cool. So let's talk about that. I want to point out a couple things. Number one, Lee didn't go start a team or a brokerage the first day in the real estate business. He spent 14 years just learning the fundamentals of becoming great at the craft, mastering his skill set. Okay, that was number one. Then he started shifting to where he still prospects every single day. He shows up at the office at 7:30. A little bit that's probably just because he's addicted to what he's doing. I know that's my problem, right? I just love doing what I'm doing, right?
Absolutely.
So now he starts calling other realtors and just sharing the message of what he's been building over so many years. And you're seeing guys go from being behind on their mortgage payment to literally having more money in their bank account than they've ever had in their entire life. So
proud.
So such proud an amazing story.
Yeah, yesterday we also had last week we had one other interview with an agent, Dahlia Beckman. She's on the call. I see you, Dahlia. Very, very proud of this young lady. I mean, basically joined our team when we first started in our second year. Came on board. She was with us for 7 months. I believe it was 7 months, Dahlia. But once then she figured it out. She went off to another brokerage and did her own thing. Business went down dramatically. We started Intero. She jumped right back on board, understanding that our culture helps her, you know, and she closed 8 last month. Just last month, she sold 8 houses. And so she's been in the business for 1 year and 7 months, and she's doing a phenomenal job. So
awesome. So Michael just wrote, a couple of my buddies are in Bakersfield, have been wanting to get into real estate. I just had no avenue to send them if they wanted to since we started talking. So get in touch with Lee Barrison. He would be the guy to talk to if your friends want to be successful. If they don't want to be successful, have them call someone else. And I can give you a name of that person that is in Lee's town if you'd fucking like to be unsuccessful. Cool.
Ouch.
Ooh, hey man, you are what you say, and if you can't live up to your word, then go fuck yourself. That's how I feel. Okay, so 12 months from now, where do we want Intero to be?
So 12 months from now, well, by December 31st, we're going to have 60 agents plus. I think 12 months from now, Colton, I'd really like to be at maybe possibly 80 to 90 agents. Again, that per agent production is going to go up because obviously it's gone dramatically down from 24 because there is a lot of new blood learning the system. Right now, we're at about 12 per agent. But yeah, we're going to be the top producing real estate company in 3 years or less. And next year, 12 months from now, is just going to be a stepping stone to that 3-year mark. So,
can I ask you how it worked out when you ended business ties with your last company? Is that not something you want to bring up here?
No, I'm like we said, full disclosure, right?
Yeah.
It was probably, I'd rather go to the dentist and have my teeth pulled out without any Novocaine, to be honest with you. It was very painful, not only for me, but it was painful for a lot of the agents that were on the team because some of them lost money, some of them lost deals, and more importantly, we lost relationships. So
I think that's important because I've split ties with company in the past, and every time, like, it seems to be that there's going to be a money issue, right? And I think when you make that change, whether you're leaving a company or you're like as big as you did, you took your whole team, which was a good chunk of their business, I'm guessing, or if you're just an agent moving to another business, another brokerage, understand that there's a good chance you're going to leave some money behind and just be okay with it. Don't try to fight, and I did this. And I can't remember. Do you remember? I think we were talking in 2013 or something. And I'd left a brokerage. They had sold the company. They didn't pay me on 9 deals, $55,000 in commissions. I wasted probably 60 days focusing on that money I believe was mine, and my prospecting dropped in half over the next 60 days. So then the real thing that you start losing is your future cash flow because you get so wrapped up into it. How did you deal with that during that time frame?
Um, Calm, cool, and collective. I mean, I didn't get upset. Just had to deal with the emotions. But what surprised me, and I learned a lot from this process. What surprised me is that my broker had so much intention to support me for the time that I was on in his
Yeah.
brokerage. Um, you know, just honestly making me believe that he was very supportive the whole time. But then once I decided to part ways, my objective was to be better myself. It wasn't because
Yeah.
of him. We didn't have an
Yeah.
issue, but I want to grow, and this is a part of growth. And he didn't get that, and nor did he like that idea. So it was his objective to really stick it to me as much as he could, which
Yeah.
sucks because that means he's full of shit.
So if you're in Bakersfield, you definitely want to get with Intero Real Estate. You want to stay away from Miramar Real Estate. And you want to get, hey, I can say it. I'm in Utah, dude. I got nothing, dude. You know what I mean? I don't even know the dude. So I can say whatever I want. It's my podcast. It's my Facebook, right? So I would recommend you get in touch with Lee, and not just to sell more houses and to make more money. I think that's cool that you've done that. You've done awesome. But as I've known Lee and I've got to know him, we've met up in different events. He's just a genuine dude that is just here to serve individuals. And that's part of what my mission is, to create massive value for people. And I love to connect with other people that are doing it. So thank you, Lee, for what you're doing to our real estate community, or for our real estate community, I should say. So let's switch gears just a little bit, and then we got to get wrapping things up in a minute. So you're making money, obviously, or you've made money over the last 16 years. How do you spend that money without blowing it?
How do you spend money without blowing it? Like empty the bank account?
Yeah, without wasting it. I mean, because I know you have investments, right? Like you own real estate. So how did you, because so many times I see realtors that are making 15, 20 grand a month, and yet they're spending 25 grand a month, right?
Sure. I can tell you the secret. My wife, she is amazing when it comes down to finances. I have not paid a bill in 16 years since we've been married. I don't even know what the checkbook looks like, to be honest with you. As a matter of fact, I haven't been to the bank in almost 4 years. I would probably cringe if I walked into a bank right now. So I got a good wife that really pays close on finances. But secondly, you mentioned investments. If I ever see a good opportunity, I'm going to try to do my best to get on it. And then third, I think that God gives us money to spend it. So I'm okay with that concept as far as having, making money to spend it, but just not as fast as I get it.
Yeah. So what you're basically saying is, number one is marry a CFO, right?
Yes.
Have someone that can manage that, or learn how to manage your cash flow. That's what we teach in Financial Freedom Nation. By the way, it's going up in price the first part of July to $997. So you want to get in right now on the beta test. Let me know if you have questions on that. But literally, Here's what I found, Lee. And I asked this question. So we have 79 students in this course I'm teaching. I don't know if you've heard it, but I teach people how to manage their cash flow as it comes in, so that when it goes out, it's going into where they can spend it and have fun. They can invest. They can have long-term savings for those unexpected medical expenses, or the big trip they want to go on, or the new house, or whatever, right? And guess what? Most of my students are realtors. On any question, any reason why is because I have a lot of realtors following me. But guess what percentage of those students, 79 of them, do not have any money management system in place?
20%.
90%, Lee.
I was hoping for more from my fellow real estate agents.
And they're not all realtors. A lot of them are. They're small business owners. They're coaches. There's trainers. There's W-2 employees, corporate, government. 90% of them don't have it. And of the 10% that do, they review it one time or less per month. And so the reality is there's a huge need to be able to learn how to manage cash flow. We don't learn it in school. We didn't learn it from our parents. Not that my parents did their best, but they didn't teach me this, right?
Yeah.
So what are you doing to influence and inspire your agents to not blow all their money, but to still enjoy their life, and create those investments as well?
I constantly remind people to try to remain humble. Being that a lot of the agents that are coming on into the system are newer, when you get when you get 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, $5,000 paychecks a month, it's very, very easy, I think, to become less humble. I automatically got to go buy that brand new shiny car. I automatically have to go buy a bigger home. No, you don't.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, Colton, but I do know about you. You drove a silver, what was that, Cavalier?
Cavalier, no fear Cavalier.
Yeah, you drove a silver Cavalier, and you sold how many homes in that Cavalier?
52 homes.
There you go.
52 homes. That was 2012 that I drove that car, and it was a 2001. It was a shithole of a car, but
yeah,
dude. I was the only
that,
realtor I know making $25,000 a month driving that shitty car. The only one.
And you're okay though, right?
I'm totally okay. I wouldn't have a nice car if it weren't for my wife now. Like my wife does for me, opposite of yours. Yours like manages it. Mine gets me to actually enjoy it, right? Like
okay.
I would hoard it all the time if it weren't for her to go spend a little bit, which is equally as important as in saving. Like you've got to enjoy your money.
Agreed, absolutely. But you are, that tells me right there that you have a humble heart. You're okay driving a Cavalier. You're okay, and again, I don't have a luxury vehicle. Do I want one? No, I'm good. Actually, my car's been paid off for about 5 years, and I like it like that.
What do you drive?
I drive a Honda Accord.
Honda Accord.
Yep.
Dude, ladies and gentlemen, over 240-something units? What did you say in 16?
242.
242 units, and he drives a Honda Accord.
I'm okay with that.
Cool, man. So
yeah.
Let's do this. Open it up to Q&A. If anyone has questions, start posting. I can't read anything that pops up on yours, so if there is any questions, you've got to read them out on your side. But let's start wrapping this up. What would you say is maybe three tips you would give to people watching? And it could be about anything. It could be about real estate. It could be about life, happiness, marriage, money, whatever. You choose. What would 3 things that you think would be a good message to pass?
Gosh. I'm going to go back to what we talked about earlier. Be a giver. Be a giver. Be the one that is a servant to others, and you automatically will receive from the universe everything you ever wanted. It will naturally come. So important. Second, Colton, I just think that I'm going to stick with what we've talked about. Remain humble. Keep a humble heart all the time. You're no better than anybody else. It doesn't matter how many commission checks you get. It doesn't matter what kind of car you have. And trust me, guys, nobody likes unhumble people because it's egotistic, and again, that's going to affect you in every facet of your life. If you allow your ego to take over, it's just an ugly look. So lose the ego. It's not your amigo. Number 3, marry a good woman, damn it. Guys.
So true.
Guys, if you're single, if you're dating, if you're on Tinder right now, quit that shit, okay? You're a grown adult. And if you're in real estate, you look like a nincompoop on Tinder. Trust me, if your clients saw what you did, dude, you'd be ashamed of yourself. So marry a good woman, because I know that my wife, and I'm sure that you could vouch for this, Colton, is that I would not be anything without her. I mean, she's been there through thick and thin. She's believed in me and my stupid ideas, and she still ran with it. And she's been my biggest fan and my biggest supporter. So that's where I'm going to leave it right there.
So you heard it from Lee Barrison. Number 1 is be a giver, and just understand when he says be a giver, he doesn't mean just giving some money. He means giving value,
time,
creating value, serving others, making other people feel just a little bit better for you being around them and helping them and giving to them, right? Number 2 is be humble. Stay humble. Don't let your ego become your amigo. Keep him away from you. And then finally, marry a good guy or a good gal. See, when you can have that support system, I totally believe that your life can go to a next level. I look at from before I got married and the crew I hung out with, they still ain't got their shit together, right? Like some of them living in their parents' basement still, and I feel bad for them because I love those dudes, right? But at the same time, I would be that guy if I hadn't met my wife and pulled my shit together. Yeah. It's just the reality of it. Your spouse is amazing. And marriage is tough. Like for you guys watching, I don't think anyone ever tells you how tough marriage is. Not because, it has to be, but simply no one ever taught you how to be married, right? Like one of my favorite books is Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. I don't know if you've ever read that book, but like, it's so funny because after a busy day or you're stressed or, that she's with the kids, I mean, like life naturally gets frustrating sometimes. And yet we tend to want to be a blamer when we're frustrated versus a lover and a supporter. And you've got to take a step back and just figure out how can I support? And I'm not the best at it. Lee, maybe give us some tips. How do you be better as supporting your spouse versus being a blamer?
Shut up.
So true.
Just zip your lips.
I want to handle her
right,
thing like objection sometimes, right? Do you ever find yourself wanting to handle the objection, solve the problem, and she just wants to talk about it, man? Just shut up and let her talk about it, right? Perfect. Awesome. Well, there we go. Lee Barrison. So one more thing. How do you keep your ego out of it? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me, Lee Barrison?
All right, there you are.
How do you keep from falling into the trap of making your ego your amigo? How do you stay so far away of that?
I don't know. I mean, that's a good question, Colton. I think, if you have the ability to use your God-gifted talents to pour onto others, I think that does really keep my ego in check. I don't forget where I came from. That's a big thing for me. I came back. I wasn't raised in a wealthy family. Dad worked hard but never made a lot of money. And so I don't forget where I came from because that's true. And I can't say it's not. So, just I guess keep a spiritual awakening on yourself at all times. Understand there's a lot of things out there that are much bigger than you.
Oh my gosh, ain't that so true? With 7.4 billion people on the earth, you were just a speck in the dust on this rock floating in the middle of who knows where with space filling time. Like when you think of it that way, money doesn't even exist, right?
No, it does not.
And I wish that we had more people talking about this. And I don't know, maybe more people don't do this, but I wish that I hear more people talking about the power of prayer. Like to me, prayer is the most powerful thing in my entire existence. That's what grounds me to that source energy with God and that light and that love, and keeps me away from falling in the trap of the ego. Because it is easy to fall in the trap of the ego. When you got $60,000-$70,000 months rolling in, it's easy to say, I did that. It was me that created this, right? Well, in a little bit of it, yeah, you did. You had to do the action. But let's be honest, dude, you have so little control over what's going on. And I think the power of prayer is amazing. So prayer and meditation are two things that can definitely allow you to anchor and stay humble for sure.
Jeff's killing it. Here, I'll throw some in there too. Boom, boom, boom.
Oh, nice. I wish I could give some. I'm pretending to give some right now.
Okay, there you go.
Cool. So let's real quick, how can people get you if they want to find out more about joining Intero Real Estate in Bakersfield? Oh, and I just lost Lee, so we're not going to hear from him. So go ahead and connect with Lee Barrison, guys, and find out how you can get in touch with him about maybe sending referrals to Bakersfield, or even if you want to be able to consider a career in real estate and you're in that Bakersfield area, or if you just want to learn, get in touch with this guy. He's amazing, right? I've known him for several years. He's totally opened my mind to new possibilities, but really his work ethic blows my mind. Even today, like he'll send me a message or something of him hustling, getting a contract signed on a Saturday, and man, I don't do anything on Saturdays. So his work ethic is amazing. Just want to give a shout out to the WGR Real Estate Sales Team. That's my sales team here in Utah. If you know anyone buying or selling across the whole state, give me a call. I appreciate the referrals you guys are sending us. We receive about 4 referrals every single month right now. I'd love to see that get to 8, and we close those transactions quickly, smoothly. We give out amazing referral fees, so you always get paid on them. We're taking care of your customers and your clients. If you're a realtor that wants to level up your skill set, your schedule, and your systems, you got to go get involved with fearlessagent.com. Fearless Agent Coaching and Training is what revolutionized my entire life and is the foundation of my financial success when it comes to the real estate business. If you want to get into a deeper level of these types of conversation, you know, I have my Real Estate Hustlers Mastermind. Guys like Brian Casella, AJ Maida, Al Torrey. We had Robert on here from Santa Clarita. We got some amazing people in that mastermind that takes not just real estate, but life to a whole nother level. You guys can apply for that. We've got 2 spots available right now. We don't just let anyone in. I think the last 100 people that have applied, we've invited 2 or 3 of them, but for the most part, we haven't let many people into that. So we just want to find really amazing people to join. And then, like I said, 90% of you guys watching, and you can probably put yes or no if this is you. Do you have a cash flow management system? Like when you get paid your $5,000, $10,000, or $20,000, how are you managing that cash flow? This is the number one way I see successful realtors failing, right? The first way people fail in real estate or business is they don't even make money, right? They don't have cash flowing in. The second way is once they do have cash flowing in, no matter how much or how little, whether it's $1, whether it's $100,000, they don't know how to manage it because we've never been taught that. So we've got Financial Freedom Nation. What it is, it's an 8-week video course that we are teaching exactly how I manage my cash flow. I'm opening up inside of it, and I'm giving you all of my secrets. I'm giving you all the books I've read. I'm giving you all the techniques, and I literally is going to have probably close to 12 to 15 hours of content once the beta program is done. And you know, I've done other online ventures, but this one really, really excites me because it's something that took me financially free from the age of 28 to 32, 27 to 31 in 4 years, just using this system. I have so many of you guys come to me, hey, what do you think about this investment? Or what do you think about that? Or you should buy this, or you should buy that. And yet, at the end of the day, they don't even have their own finances set up to where they could perform on an investment if the opportunity came up. So what cash flow management does is it prepares you for when the opportunity falls in front of you so you can snatch it up. And I can promise you this, I've got people that are saying it's the best their financial situation has ever been in just 5 weeks or less of going through the course. Now, second week of July, once the beta test is finished up, we're going to finalize all the packaging inside of the membership site. We're going to sell it for $997, and then it'll be also $97 a month if you want to join the monthly coaching program, which is a group coaching platform to keep you moving forward. But I am allowing before then the initial beta price of only $97. The link is the very first comment in this video. So once the video is over, you can scroll up, you can sign up and get in for $97. And I'll remind you, it's the beta program, so we're still finalizing and getting everything awesome. But for $97, you literally still get all of my secrets, get access to the membership site. You never have to pay any money again unless you want to join the coaching program later on. Appreciate you guys for watching. We'll see you later.